even when I'm not spoken to, my goal is hopefully to have broken through the barriers between what is true and what is make-believe, because the truth in the poems that I make just make you see things more clearly, constantly questioning, can you hear me? Knowing that my best politicians fear me. Politic, talk, ticks, do you feel me? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Sometimes I gotta scream and shout to get my point across, because the only way to find the right way is to first realize you're lost. This poetry is painful, searching for the rainbow, yet I share my most private, quiet conversations and tell my stories with poetic exaggeration. I am a poet, a poet, a poet, a poet. Yo, I'm a poet, actor, writer, producer. Some people know me as Rufio, the leader of the Lost Boys. Some people know me as the Mac Daddy Dragon of the NYC, Jake Long. And then I'm sure a lot of you guys out there know me as the misunderstood Prince of the Fire Nation, Zuko. Awesome, how you guys doing? It's good to see everybody. Hello, are y'all doing good? I got the lights up because this is my poetry set. They asked me what I wanted to do, and as one of my panels, and I said poetry. A lot of you guys know me as an actor, but there's a lot of people around the country, and especially in Los Angeles, that know me as a poet. I started a poetry venue out of my living room over 20 years ago called DPO, the Poetry Lounge, which became one of the inspirations, which became Deaf Poetry on HBO and on Broadway. And still today, every Tuesday night, it is heralded as the largest weekly open mic venue in the world, actually. So, yeah, so today I'm bringing poetry, but just not my own poetry. I'm gonna give you a lot of my pieces, but I tell you it's an open mic. So poetry for me is always about sharing stories. It all started in my living rooms with friends and friends of friends, and to this day, 20 plus years later, it's still friends and friends of friends, but probably somewhere around anywhere from like 400 to 500 people a week get together in this theater and just hear each other's stories. So I'm gonna give you a lot of my stories today, but it's an open mic, so are there any poets in the audience? There's some poets? Yeah! All right, you guys got your poems? You guys got poems? Awesome, so I'm gonna be sharing the mic with you guys. I mean, we can do some questions and stuff later on, but y'all down to share some poems with me? Awesome, so let me just go into some stuff. I'm excited to hear your guys' poems too. I want to see what y'all writing about out here in Ohio. What y'all gotta say. So y'all know who I am. I just want to continue just my story. I'm an actor. I've been an actor for over 30 years in Los Angeles, and that's a long time. That's probably longer than most people in here have been alive, which is crazy. Like just about almost everybody, I think 99% of the people in this room were not alive when I first started acting. Oh my God, I'm old. But before I got to LA, I started my whole career at the very, ground floor of the entertainment industry. And do you guys know what that is? Anybody know what that is? The ground level? Ground level? Anybody? What? Stage acting? Even before stage acting. Was it? Breakdancing on the actual floor. So I started my whole career on the ground in the streets of San Francisco. I was a b-boy in the 80s. Places like Pier 39 in San Francisco, places like Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley, literally with a cardboard box and a boom box and a hat on the floor. Me and my brothers, we were called the Street Freaks, and that's how we started our whole career. From that, we got picked up by the San Francisco 49ers and started dancing for them. Got picked up by the Oakland A's and started dancing for them. We had won like, I think 33 breakdancing competitions on the weekends one year, which is crazy. And then we got picked up by the San Francisco Ballet Company, and me and my brothers got scholarships to study ballet. We did the Nutcracker, and then my mother said, "You guys want to go to Hollywood and really pursue this?" And we said, "Yeah." And then we moved to LA, and I was 10. So all that happened before I was 10, and then my acting career started. But we'll start everything like everything starts. where you're from. Where are you from? Michigan? Well, that's a loaded question. See, I grew up in a blue-collar town, so meaning the blacks and the browns, and me being in that category, plus my pops made less than 40, geez, a year, it's clear to see that me, I be, well, blue-collar. Better yet, broke most of the time, even better, poor. But when you're young and you're poor, you don't know that you're poor. It never occurs to you that you don't have a bed, everyone sleeps on the floor. 13 in a house, 1 bathroom, someone always knocking on the door. At least it was fun. Let's get back to where we started. Where are you from?
Ohio.
See, where I'm from, there are cops and there are gangsters, also known as gangbangers. Not unlike the cops and robbers of the movies, but unlike the movies, it's not so black and white. There are areas of gray, and that is to say, it's hard to distinguish the difference between being pulled over by a cop and being hit up by a gangster. Both evoke a bit of pain in the pit of your stomach. I think it's anger masked by shame. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me explain. Followed by a cop. Follow 6 blocks. Pulled over by a cop, he looks at you as if you are Mark. Where are you from? He does not wait for you to reply until he accuses you as you deny you're from the east side. No, sir, bow your head, don't look in the eyes. It's embarrassing sitting on the curb watching the cars drive by. But being where I'm from, that's just another part of my life. Now, when it comes to the gangbanger, all you got to be is a stranger. We ask you where you're from, you can feel it laced with danger. So watch what you say next, because you're playing with death. So don't play the east, don't play the west. Matter of fact, same rules apply. Bow your head, don't look him in the eyes. I ain't from nowhere, man, I'm just some guy. See, he too sees you as a mark, but they don't really see you, your face or your heart. All they see are marks. Now, me being me, I got a few tricks up my sleeve. Fucked up situations, I've gotten out of a few of those by simply picking my nose. That's right, picking my nose. Check it. When the cop pulls up, I can feel the heat in his eyes, or Monte Carlo filled with gangsters pulls up next to my side. I pretend I don't see them, and I casually try to pick a booger from my nose. And for a second, just a moment, I'm exposed. To be a man, not a mark, a human being just like you. Don't lie, you got boogers too. And the cops, see, he just continues to roll down the street, and the gangsters, well, they just laugh and then they just leave. Sometimes when you see a little bit of yourself in someone else, it can set you free. And the funny thing is, I'm probably from where they're from. The other side of town, and I'm just trying to get home. So y'all like a little poetry out here in Ohio. Yeah? Y'all want to hear from one of your own? Anybody ready with a poem? Right in the front row. Y'all want to start hearing some poems also from some locals? Y'all want to hear it? Let me hear some. All right. Are you ready? It's like, you want the mic stand or no mic stand? Oh, you have another mic? No, I'll just pass the mic. I'll just pass the mic. Thank you, Sharon. What's your name? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing the Poetry Lounge to ColossalCon this year. I want you all to give it up one time for... I want you all to give it up one time, the Poetry Lounge at ColossalCon for Caitlin, y'all. Give it up for Caitlin. Real quick. Well, I want to do the poem first, or I want to talk to you first? You know what? Let's do the poem first, so I can maybe ask you a question about that poem. Give it up for Caitlin.
My name is Caitlin. My life is an open book. I'm a little scared right now, but it's okay. You can take a look. I'm happy to be here with y'all. I hope you all have a great day. I'm enjoying my stay.
Yo, give it up for Caitlin, y'all. I like that. You know, my poetry style also, I rhyme a lot. There's a lot of new kids that don't rhyme at all, which is cool, but you know, I come from that time. Me and Caitlin come from the same cloth. We're rhyming poets, which is cool. What part of Ohio are you from? You're from where? These are all towns I don't know. Did you say Momby?
Mommy.
Mommy? I'm from my mommy too. That's where I'm from also. Hey. My dad's Toledo, my mommy, I don't know. It's crazy stuff going on. Thank you, Caitlin. We're gonna read some more poets up in a bit. I'll do a few more poems. You poets out there, get ready. You get ready. I can't wait to hear you guys' stories. I dig that. So, I do some short poems real quick. Y'all wanna hear some poems, some short ones? So for my Instagram, you know, when it was like 15 seconds, I wrote all these little 15-second poems about my characters, some characters in my career. Stuff like this. I'm straight out of Neverland. We're lost boys, Captain Hook into Peter Pan. We're all grown ups, so pirates, and we kill pirates. I don't need no gun, cause I'm a sword fighter. Have fun all day and we play games, but if it's gonna go down, then we bang-a-rang, bang-a-rang, bang-a-rang. And then, you know, I didn't write this poem, or this little lyric, but it went, it's the J to the A to the K to the E. I'm the Mac Daddy Dragon of the NYC, you heard? And then of course there's the Avatar short poems. They go like this. A poem called Honor. There's something lost on this place, etched into your consciousness like a scar upon your face. This honor that you chase isn't always what you thought. Matter of fact, the fact that you always had is the very reason why you set out to prove its existence from the start. She moves mountains, so small but so strong. Next time I go on a life-changing adventure, you're invited to come along. A poem for my friend who doesn't even bend, but his heart's as big as the rest of them. Plus he always has my back, makes me laugh because he's funny. And when his girlfriend turned into the moon, all I can say is, that's rough, buddy. And of course, one for the girl, right? Sometimes the feeling of what could have been is so much stronger than what actually happened, because the memory of perfection lasts longer, and even though we didn't end up together, it'll never change the fact that you changed my life forever. Sutara. I know, people get mad. There's some Sutara shippers out there, you roll me, and then the one that don't ship Sutara hate me. And I'm sorry. But no, I know, whatever, Katang's cool. But I'll ship that Zutara. And then, I mean, you know, Meiko's cool too. I actually rewatched some episodes recently and I was like, I did a con with Cricket who plays May, and she's always like, you're always shipping Zutara. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, you know what? I watched some episodes and I was like, yo, May is super cute though. And I was like, I admit, like, if we were at a club, you know, like Atara's like that girl next door that's like cool. But like, if I was at a club and there was that dark, kind of like bitchy girl in the corner, just talking down on everybody, like I'd probably go hit on that girl. That would be the girl. I need to talk to that girl. So she at least thought that was cool. I'm gonna kick it to some more local poets. Yo, raise your hand. Right? There's actually a lot of poets in the audience. I got this person. I got Link co-signing for someone right here. What's your name? Casey. Come on. Casey? Yo, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one time for Casey.
Little brother walks in the room trying to say goodnight. What he doesn't know is that this is the last time. He comes to wake you up and he thinks you're just asleep. Suddenly he realizes he can't hear you breathe. He calls out from out the bed and he says that something's wrong. He thinks you might need help. You don't know you're already gone. Dad comes running up those stairs to make sure you're alright. And when he realizes what you did, that big strong man breaks down and cries. Your mama blames herself, says she should have been there. You thought there was nobody who cared. She would stay with you all night, begging you, please don't say goodbye.
That was awesome. That was intense. That was it. Where are you from, Casey?
Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio. How long you been writing poetry?
I started writing song lyrics when I was about 8 years old.
That was intense. I was like, that was reminding me like Johnny Cash.
Cash is one of my big inspirations. You know, I was born and raised into a Southern style family, so.
That's awesome. Give it one more time for KC. Go down the steps. All the poets, just when y'all come up here, I know it's cool to jump up here, but they want us to walk around and take the stairs, which is, I think, is safer. All right. That's awesome. Y'all got some poets out here. Is there open mics out here? You guys do open mics and slam and all that kind of stuff out here? Sometimes. I just love coming to cons because, you know, the creative energy is like we're all, I mean, I look around the room and it's like we're all creative folks, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're doing cosplay or you're doing fan fiction or you're an actor or a singer or a poet. I mean, these are our people. Like I come into cons and it's like, this is us, this is our people. And it's just one of those things that are very exciting to me. I talk at colleges, and I talk at cons, and I talk at art schools, and I try to explain to a lot of young artists out there, you know, a lot of times we feel like outcasts, or we feel like we're different from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Our loved ones, our parents, our siblings, some of our best friends, and that kind of stuff. And what I try to explain to them is, ultimately, I mean, I'm a Harry Potter fan. You guys Harry Potter fans? And I try to explain to them is, you know, we're wizards. Like, that's what we are. Like, make no mistake, the things that we do are nothing short of magic, and that's what we deal in. And our friends and our families that will never really understand why we stay up all night to finish a costume, or to write a song, or to write a poem, or memorize, you know, these things, they just will never get why it's so important to us. And that's okay because, you know, they're muggles. I mean, there's no reason to love them any less. It's just, that's what it is. We're wizards and they're muggles, and they just value different things than we value. Like I said, there's no reason to love them any less, just to know that, make no mistake, like the things that we do, these kind of things, it's all magic. So, I'll rock another poem. What y'all want to hear? Something. Uncle Ira. Uncle Ira. I gotta write something for Uncle Ira. Man, I love Mako and I love Uncle Ira. I'll just say before I do the pieces, Uncle Ira was played by an actor named Mako. Shout out to Mako. Rest in peace. So Mako played my uncle or my father in my career, I think 4 times, and he's known me since I was 12. When I did, the first time I worked with him was a movie called Perfect Weapon, and so he's seen me kind of grow up over the years in LA, and always has been that kind of mentor to me, someone I can ask questions to, someone who would tell me stories from his life to just give me some guidance, and so in a lot of ways he really was Uncle Ira to me. So when he passed, it was very emotional, but he also did things like, he started East West Players, which is the longest running POC, person of color, theater in the country. He started like, I don't know, 50 years ago. And I did plays there, and I wrote a play there. And he taught me that, you know, it's about, your career is one thing, it's great to kind of build your career up, but it's also great to pass something on to the next generation. And I realized, you know, part of that lineage of Asian American actors like Mako, that it's great for your career, but also you have to create something for the next generation. And that helped me create, him passing helped me realize I have to help create something for the next generation, where I created Kinetic Film, which is an Asian American Pacific Islander film company out of Hawaii. And I also created a collective downtown LA called We on the 8th, which is all about cultivating the next generation of Asian American creatives. So, shout out to Mako. I guess we could, we can do an identity poems. He's talking about identity. Some of my poetry gets so serious. I'll talk about how I write poetry, but let me do this poem where I can talk a little bit more about poetry and art and stuff like that. Thoughts swim around my mind, now ask yourself, who's this kid that stands before me? Hope he doesn't bore me quick, stick him in another category. Well, shit. He doesn't really fit in any, brown like a copper penny, yet with Asiatic eyes. I see to my surprise, he's got a black nose. But on the real, I am a Filipino. And to break it down further still, I will tell you I descend from an island where the natives run around nearly naked, named negritos, translation, little black men. Black as their shadows in the glorious sun, but thank you, Chinaman, maybe it was Japan who mixed in the Asiatic blood. Drip drop, drips rip to my tribal. Here comes the Bible of a man from Spain who left me with a Spanish name from a little conquered islands from where I came. Confused, I questioned, yet I wound up here where I found joy. I recognize I am a brown boy in America, a place where you are judged by the color of your skin, black, white, and here I am, standing on the land of another brown man. Now that's irony that I can see. Thoughts swim around my mind, you got to give me time on this. Thoughts swim around my mind, but my grandpa says just throw your line and fish. And when I say I'm fishing, it means I'm searching for a deeper meaning, a stronger feeling, realizing everything I've seen isn't what it's seeming. The world in which we live in, the religion I was raised on now raises questions. Question everything they tell you, don't buy everything they try to sell you. Promises of heaven once this life of living hell through me. I'm here to tell you that the religion that they want me to believe in got me subconsciously accepted. Before I was saved by their Jesus Christ, I was a heathen. Me and the Africans and Indians and Mexicans and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Koreans and all the other Asians and I can never do that because somewhere in the back of my mind I have to hate myself forever because I know I'll never look like their God, but God, I am mad at you because God, I know the truth, I am you. Like you are me. Like I am them, like yo, this is who we are. See, some speak of the revolution and they say it won't be televised and they're right because the revolution's going on, it's a revolution of the mind, and this revolution is not a black or white thing or in between the rich and poor, it's those who are awake and those who are asleep, and this is a wake-up call, so wake up y'all, before we fall, wake up y'all, wake up, wake up, wake up Uncle Sam! You are a relative of mine, but your wife is a hoe. You beat her and cheat her though, and I fear you may murder her. And furthermore, you and I live in a time of no good guys asking what I consider your friends who look at people of color as niggas. Shh. I'm like, F the police. Furthermore, F this country. Do you know how it feels to live young and hungry and angry? People looking at me like they want to hate me. Why do you make me want to elevate above you? You make me hate you when I should love you. Because when you break it down to the biology and see that we're the same, and that's the God in me, the God in me, the God in me, part of me, the God in us. In God we trust, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Yeah, man, I write poetry. I mean, not all my poetry is written to be performed, but some of them is, some of them are. It's like when the spoken word thing started happening in the 90s and my crew started rocking around LA, it became this art form of telling stories out loud. Now, for all the writers out there, the way I write poetry, everyone, you know, everybody's story is valid, however you see the world, however what you want to speak about. Me personally, I've been living this life as an actor and artist my whole life, and I've been very fortunate to be, you know, to have my success and my great characters, and I've got to travel around the world and do all these great things, but every now and then I just gotta sit back and kind of, you know, digest my life. Whether it be my career, who I am, my identity, things I've seen, you know, girls I fell in love with, times I got my heart broken. It's just poetry for me is just a way to digest and document my life. So I was always told as a writer, like, the easiest way to write is to write what you know. And so that's what I do personally. It's almost like an ongoing documentary of my life through verse. But that being said, I have a lot of friends or artists that create these world-building fictional worlds, whether it be in poems or on, you know, in screenplays and movies or in video games, where I'm so just inspired by a lot of these cats. But even those guys, it's really, you know, when I break it down, I ask them about certain characters and I ask them about certain relationships and the pieces, and it all goes back down to the reality of their life, their relationships in their life. So again, it always comes back down to your, you know, we're all the stars of our own movie, right? And so it's always thinking about how the world is affecting you and how we can do it. And I just do it through poetry and verse. So I want to bring up another poet to the stage. Right, you're the first hand that went up. Come to the stage. Come to the stage. Yeah, come on around. And the new poets come to the stage. Y'all having a good time? Y'all enjoying this? I'm enjoying it. Yeah. How are you doing? Yo, next poet to the stage, give it up one time for Jamie, y'all. Give it up.
I have a poem about how it feels when your leg falls asleep. It's called Get Out. Cookie dough boys are running through my leg. They shove and shout and it sounds like the fake dinosaurs and TV static cookie dough HBO in my leg. I squish and they snap back. Millions of diligent, frantic Aunt Cookie dough marshmallow fluff stuck through with the sewing needle, shifting the beads in the pit and cushion tomato. It's pants too thin, snow day cold, scattered. They're too agile for my thick fingertips. I'm fumbling to diffuse tap dance march of boba bubble tea leg buddies bouncing. I smack and it stings in a spider web shaped red startle. They jostle out and fade in the slowest foamy wave, breaking and melting back to stagnant flesh, regular and filled with nothing but blood.
That was amazing. Give it one time for Jamie. You're from Kent? Ohio. I heard you have a college out there.
Yeah, Kent State.
Yeah, I know a few things about Ohio.
But I actually do poetry in Chicago where I go to school.
Very cool. What are you studying?
What am I studying? Publishing and computer science.
That's dope. So how do you inspire? Like how do you get inspired to write poetry?
So usually it's like so on the spot where I just like to do like one challenge where it's like a prompt and like or something really restricted where you can only use certain sounds or words, and I really like finding a way through that kind of like puzzle of language.
That's true. Boundaries do help sometimes. And who are you cosplaying?
Yeah, I'm Sebastian Hastings from She's the Man.
Give it up for Jamie, y'all. Thank you so much. Man, you have some good poets out here. I'm so impressed right now. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I want to bring another poet up because there's so many poets. This is like, I feel so guilty. I don't know who to pick. Okay, you know what? Okay, this is the deal. I'm gonna pick 3 poets because you guys are doing short poems. And I'm gonna pick one. Okay, with the ears over there. Come to the stage, come to the stage. Yeah, right there with the ears.
Sure, which one, this one?
Okay, that's cool. And then, Toph, who are you pointing at, Toph? All right, you come this way on this side. Who am I gonna pick on this side? I can't even see. I'm gonna go right to the headband right there. Headband, yeah. But also, they're all women. We need a guy too. We gotta represent for the guys. Dude, I gotta think Zoom guy. Get here. So get on stage, go line up. I'm gonna do another round. We have time. I'll do them, and then I'll do a poem, and then I'll do another round, right? I mean, now I'm getting super excited to hear y'all pieces. Everyone stay on stage. Everyone stay on stage. Damn. I'm excited. We'll get your names up early, and then. So what's your name? Grace? Katie? Yes. Ashley? Catherine? Now, usually we have a list to do this, but I don't know how this happened, but we're just doing it. I'm just rolling with it. So the first person is Grace?
That's my best friend!
Yo, give it one time for Grace, y'all. Give it for Grace.
Alright, so this is super old, so it's gonna be on my phone, and I might mess up a couple times. This is, I talk so fast because I'm scared of dying in the middle of a sentence. I know that I will die with words left unsaid, but if I never say the words already waiting in my head to come out, I want out, but I'm just lying here instead, letting my words die through this pen, praying to God that they'll be read. There is hope in the words I'm generating, that they'll maybe just work to shape the generation of movers, the makers, my generation of doers. I see the greats before me, and I want to do what they did. But how? It'd be a struggle to make the same moves without repeating. To say like they did, when they're accusing me of sin. So I'll talk harder, try harder, talk faster, speak louder, so they can't deny. If they try, they'll have to make me a martyr.
a giver of words, a forgiver of sins. But then I open my eyes and I'm back to where I first began. And I breathe, and I see that I'm back in my room, back on my floor, writing another word, and my eyes are blurred, because my pleas will never be heard. Please let me free. Please stop those words like water dripping off of me. My tears stain the floor, and my words gather more. Traction, attraction with no retraction. To the swears I cursed, I don't want to speak, but I want to be heard like the echo of a bell. Release me from this hell, or let them hear me.
Yo, give it up for Grace. Give it up for Grace, y'all. Next poet to the mic is Katie. Yo, Katie. Give it up for Katie, you guys. Give it up to her one more time.
This one's called Shadow War. There are many creatures that hide in the shadows of everyday life. They wage their war unseen by mundane eyes, selfless as a true soldier. These hidden soldiers battle these invisible creatures to keep their sorrow from our eyes, to stay in the shadows, to wage their war, to protect our human life, our brutally ordinary life, so that we can play soldier in our pretend wars, completely unaware of the creatures ready to kill in the shadows. We turn away our eyes, our innocent human eyes, blinded by modern life, foolish enough to gaze into the shadows, thinking that we are that soldier that battles those creatures, who wins that war. Yeah, that invisible war, if seen with our own eyes, would reveal the truly evil creatures that would destroy our life. For we are not that soldier, protecting us all from the shadows. Those devious shadows hiding the ultimate good versus evil. With our protection coming from selfless soldiers who receive no gratitude from human eyes. As we continue on with life, safe from the threat of those creatures. But I am grateful to those in the shadows, hidden from my eyes, who fight their war far from my ordinary life. Thank you, soldier, for the protection from these deadly creatures.
Woo, give it for Katie. Give it up for Katie. With that cosplay too, the soldiers always saying some things. Yo, next to the mic, all the way from the Fire Nation. Give it up one time for your prince, Zuko.
Flamingo hot people. So I wrote this 5 minutes ago. So my apology. Oh, ColossalCon is up and on. We drove all the way from the land of LeBron. Dressed up in avatar costumes, we were all excited. One guy stopped us, took us some pics, we were delighted. As the Duke took off, as he had to go, we thought that guy was cool and he's such a bro. One thought came to my mind, and whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy cow, I think that guy was Dante Basco. So here I am, couldn't feel any taller, my heart pounding, yelling me to yell, Arnie!
Prince Zuko, y'all. Give it up for Prince Zuko. Next poet to the microphone. Give it one time for Ashley. Ashley.
Alright, so I wrote this a few years ago, so sorry it's a little old, but when she was born, her family rejoiced. The little miracle baby was how she was known. When she was 1, she had said a word, Elmo, beginning of the love for a simple TV show. When she was 3, came along a great scare. She no longer spoke, a disease was feared. When she was 6, life flipped around. She was speaking and thinking, I want to be 6 forever. She discovered childhood was short. When she was 9, school was fun. No one made fun of her chubby appearance. She even had friends, despite their constant disappearance. When she was 12, childhood was over. Time to grow up. Hello, teenager. When she was 15, life was fine. High school is here. She did not feel different. Were the movies a lie? She is going to be 18, the age of the adult. Life has changed so much, from driving through town to being a godmother as well. She does not know how life will be. She has to wait and see. if you have not guessed who this story is about, is a girl of 17, now 20, that just so happens to be me.
Thank you, Ashley. And give it one time for the last part of this round. Catherine. Give it for Catherine.
Silence alone is sometimes at peace, a place of release, but sometimes a beast consuming your peace of mind. It is no place to hide. In silence, 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 I can't remember the line. I don't remember the rest, and I'm trying. I don't know what I'm saying inside. I really hope that someone's recording this so I can go back and rewrite it, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a girl. I'm a girl sitting in the back with jeans and a hoodie, and still no one sees me because I'm so plain. I'm so plain, and I just wear anything I can because sometimes inside I don't want people to see me. But now I'm up here in front of you all. I just heard a call and I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm in front of my hero and I'm still a zero. And when I walk through that door, some people will ignore and forget what I've seen, forget what I've said. You all will forget that I was even here. The girl in the back of the room with the jeans and the t-shirt and the hoodie, hiding the hurt inside. Once, twice, thrice, your heart broken and thrown on the floor to be ignored. But I don't want to be a zero anymore. So that's why I'm here in front of you all, answering the call to speak my mind and open my heart.
Yo, give it one time for the poets, Catherine, Ashley, Prince, Zuko, Katie, and Grace. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God, Catherine came with the freestyle poetry. Yo, I'm amazed. I'm so, damn, that's crazy. Catherine killed it on that freestyle. That's love. Give it one time for all the poets. Give it one time for all the poets. You know, I'm checking time. I'm gonna do a poem and then I'm gonna bring up 3 more poems and I'll just end it with a poem. How about that? So I'm gonna pick 3 more poems after this poem, but I'm gonna figure it out. God, I didn't know there's gonna be so many poets in the house. I'm gonna do a poem about Azula. No, my sister's crazy, man. But I do one about girls. I haven't done nothing about girls yet, right? A favorite poem, Nikki. You wanna do Nikki? I can do Nikki. I mean, maybe Nikki's crazy. We can do Nikki. Y'all seen growing up and hear some Nikki. I knew this girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I mean, she was a dancer, well actually a stripper. Now it's to say to see her naked you have to pay. Anyway, one night I was in a devious mood, rendezvous with my boys to the club up the street. Live, totally nude girls, 18 and over, $10 a head, you must have ID. So there I sit in the seedy joint, sipping flat soda, tripping with fear, wondering what will my mom think if she ever caught me here. Then out comes this girl. Petite, physique, body was perfect to me, you see. And there I was caught in a moment. I'm looking at her, looking at me. Can't turn away, something strong I sense as she danced, removing articles of clothing off her body while not once removing her eyes off me. And I thought that either she was the greatest dancer in the world, or somehow we managed to touch something real, a connection. Something pure, something powerful, a purely powerful, the animalistic connection. Now let me continue, I want to get in you, but let me slow down. See, the show ends, and she comes and talks to me, and of course I play the shy role, and she bites you, and yo, you don't even know that happened. See, she went up at my crib to see if I could take a stab at it, and we get into the dance, and we move, and we fit together like puzzle pieces to an erotic portrait as it may appear, and then she whispers in my ear, pull my hair. And so I do. And then she says harder, and not at the roots, but at the ends, because it hurts more. But I never wanted to hurt her, I wanted to love her tenderly. But somehow I didn't think she would let me. And then she says, choke me. And I'm a gentleman, so I try to do it gently. And then she says harder. And I don't know what to do. I mean, all of a sudden in this artsy S&M documentary of some sort with this girl riding me, pushing me to the limits of my sexuality. I had to stop for a second and be like, yo, I don't do that. And that started the rest of the match. As we tossed and tumbled like two lion cubs that play on the Discovery Channel. Yeah, we was like animals. And then she went up on top of me again and she's like, hit me. And I was like, oh shit. I mean, I gotta admit I was a little lit, high on her. See, she intoxicates me, and somewhere in the back of my mind I say what the fuck, and with the palm of my hand I graze the skin on her chin, oh so gently still, and she says, harder. And I don't know what to do, because I'm not the kind of guy who hits girls. I don't even know why this would be even getting her off, but we were playing chess, and she put me in check. So I slapped her on the cheek, and we tore each other apart in the dark until we arrived. And I don't know what she saw, but me, I was blinded by white lights, laying next to her quivering. We escape ourselves and each other. Yeah, I know a girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex fiend, but don't judge her or me. It's just a place I've been. So I think that time we're gonna do 3 poets, and then I'm gonna end one, and this is now I'm gonna pick 2 from this. I'm gonna go Katara. I know, come over here. Come on, Katara. I'm gonna pick a guy. Who's that right there? Yeah, yes, you.
You better vote.
Yes, that's you. No. Oh man, yes, you. Yeah. Come here. And then I'll pick one on this side. Red tank top. Yeah, we're gonna do this, and then I'll end the phone. I know this hour went by so fast. I didn't know there was gonna be so many dope poets in the house. So come to the stage. What's your name? Katara?
Sarah.
Sarah. What's your name? Izzy.
I love her!
What's your name?
Ollie.
Okay, 4 poets. Okay, we're gonna do these 4 poets. And your name? JJ. Did I call you 5 poets? All right, we gotta be. Is your poems quick? Ish. I don't know who I was planning at. It's all good because we're gonna go with it. We got 5 minutes. So damn, I might not be able to do a poem, but we're gonna hit these poets. Give it one time for guitar.
Alright, I'm gonna try to be quick, but it's a tongue twister. This is called Click. It's like this. There's a mister with a grin in his lips, dips a loose tongue in whiskey, and it stings when it hits as it drips from his mouth to the slits on the wrist. Of Little Miss Innocent, I'm not used to this. Bit of pity, kid has never really taken a risk. He's been in this position though, and she's reliving the thing. A coincidence, this incident would happen again. Still she listens when he whispers and he lifts up her chin to insist that she consider looking back up at him, since she's giving the impression that her face was the hit. Then his fingers twist with hers and he goes in for the kiss, and they wiggle to the rhythm of a radio mix. There is mischief on the mind, and so they mingle again, interrupted by the tolling of a telephone ring. He retreats into the kitchen where the jingle emits, and she ponders on the sofa thick with cat hair and lint, flips a switch on the clicker starting the TV set, then glimpses out the window him and then back again. From the kitchen, he could just make out a click, 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 but ignores the noise, can't picture what could be causing it. Trusts the stranger in the living room to not touch his things, then he grabs another glass and fills it, brings her a drink. Looks around in the emptiness, the TV is lit, hissing loud blips of music from an old horror flick. It's a chill, just the window with a click, 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 click. That was it when it hit him with the swiftness of bricks, that he'd just been ditched right when he was thinking they clicked. So he fixes up the living room and downs the girl's drink, and the television quiets as the credits sink in. Then the clock in the corner ticks him off with his ticks, and the door tings and dings from the keys opening it. His wife flips it open gently with a quizzical squint at her mister, but it doesn't click. He's smitten with sin. Says, I missed you. Listen, tell me how your evening has been. And he ambles to the doorway with a grin at his lips.
What's your name? Izzy? Give it one time for Izzy, y'all.
Alright, this is called The Letter You Deserve. To my first love. Just because your dad went mad and your dad made you shake, just because God was shoved down your throat like a foul-tasting medicine, just because you punched walls until your knuckles bled and beat the ground until your childhood baseball bat was mutilated beyond recognition, doesn't mean my body is cement or drywall that won't hurt when you hit it. I know you're sick. I
I know your illness was the root of this abuse. I know the battles in your mind are always lost because neither side can come out victorious. The fight between sensitivity and pride is a bloody one. Like the mysterious case of Jekyll and Hyde, I never knew who you truly were. The only time I ever put myself before you were the nights where I read fairy tales, drowning myself in once upon a times and happily ever afters, each story like a bead on a rosary, like a prayer for the happiness I thought you would bring. Handsome and strong, your chiseled jaws sharp as the cruel words you spit in my face. I just needed someone to hold my hand. The hand that so often wiped away my tears, praying that my makeup wasn't ruined because God forbid anyone know that we had issues. We worked so hard to be perfect. So when you took my innocence, what could I do? I had given up everything for you. This was just the final sacrifice. No, it was one simple word that I uttered over and over. I'm not sure if you couldn't hear me or if you just ignored my pleas. You were supposed to be my future, forever and always, remember? Everyone wants their first love to be their last. I was so willing to go the rest of my life, taking a few extra minutes in the mirror each morning so I could cover the bruises on my throat, even if that meant spending a little extra money on concealer. Makeup is expensive. What did I do to make you hate me so? Why wasn't I good enough? My lazy eye, my poor fashion sense, my pixie cut? My hair is longer now. I got glasses, and gosh dang it, I love my oversized sweaters. Now, I know that I was the first of many notches on your belt. I wish I could warn all your future lovers, this boy is a monster, he will chew you up and spit you out. You know, I was sad, completely devastated when you broke up with me. I just simply couldn't see what I had done wrong. But now I know that I dodged a bullet. You merely nicked my skin. If you had stayed, you could have found my stomach. You would have penetrated my flesh, mangled my organs until I was on life support, dependent on the drug that was you, addictive but so unhealthy. I want you to know that I don't hate you. Actually, I want to thank you because you taught me so much. I can now recognize when someone treats me right. I can now teach my future son to not be who his father almost was. Someday I will tell my daughter that a boy should never hit her. They will know what rape is and that it can happen with your significant other. You've taught me how to prevent more people like you. Sincerely, the first of many.
Give it up to Izzy. Shout out to First Love. Even the bad parts of it. What's your name? Ollie. Give it one time for Ollie, y'all. Give her Ollie.
Hi, this poem was just published this year. It's called The Resurrectionist, and it's about my girlfriend who's in the audience. I had been dying for months when you found me. I had curled fetally inward, protecting the soft, rotting fruits of my abdomen. You found me in the stairwell where I had slowly become the floor. My body unfurled at your touch like a carnivorous plant, skinned, turned fetid, and sloughing off. Gathering my corpse into your arms, you carried me up the staircase. And I feel now that I was so close to oozing through your fingers and melting away, but you kept me together. You, gentle-fingered, scooped up the awful pieces of me from the grease spot or on the concrete where I had lain. You brought me up the staircase and took me out into the street. You carried me home. You laid my husk out on your kitchen table and reassembled me, setting pieces aside on ice for later, my heart like softened butter placed delicately in your freezer. You reconstructed me like Frankenstein's monster, only sweeter. You wrapped slack skin back onto chalky bones. You filled my chest cavity with reinflated lungs and a heart hardened next to your Ben & Jerry's. And I, eyes caked in sleep, peeled myself awake, desperate to view my Frankenstein. I watched your long, steady fingers put me back together, ghosting across my sternum and stroking the grooves of my throat. My own trembling hand, nails long in death, reached out to hold your wrist. Your living skin felt like returning home, the gap in your teeth, an open window. We touched in Technicolor, and finally, for a moment, I was alive.
No, all in. Awesome. Next poet to Mike. Give it up one time, you guys, for JJ. Give it up, JJ.
This is called Fizz. Poison joins my foiled focus, rampaging through the true horror of nightmares and self-tears, the dreams that don't dare to exist. My chaos cackles quietly like a ghost in a funhouse, and I, blind to my own belonging, see myself eightfold, the shadows seeping through the breaking headaches like smoke and light in an alleyway. Unintelligible thought droning on in the wilderness, white noise and waves of hazy moonbeams and starshine and night eyes. This is nothing and everything and something in the middle, breaking through the chains that hold down beasts. Fractured ideas breaking through the threshold of foreign minds and driving them mad with ravenous fury, attempting to understand the ramblings of two mad dragons, attempting to understand the rambling of one mad dragon. There is no coalescence here, only phosphorescent confusion, ouch brain squeezing tighter. No rest for the weary, the wicked, the wise, the well-meaning. Pitch black neon echoes takes its toll on full sand.
Thank you, JJ. And the last poet right now is Brian, you guys. Give it for Brian.
This is called At the CAC, or the Contemporary Art Center. Like when our hands touch, like the invisible jukebox, like playing in the snow, like making snow angels, like a strange cuddling, like rolling snowballs, like stretching the world, like a wrestler, like a mantra, like a pattern in the sand, like drawing lines, like handstands, like upside down jumping jacks, like truth or dare, like arguing, like a seesaw, like the Brent Spence Bridge, like a pyramid, like warships, like a missile creeping an enemy, like the part where you broke the dance to reach for me, like the freckles on her back, like their eyes screeching the cement, like the collective lips, like the tempting rhythm of a guitar strum, like the vinyl clicking at the needle's breath, like the tongue meeting tongue, like the avalanche, like a tumbling accident, like a beautiful disaster, like chaos, like love.
Yo, give it one time, allow it for all the poets. Thank you guys so much. All the local poets, thank you guys so much. We're running a little bit over time on our on this panel, and I'm so impressed with everybody, man. It was just, we didn't know how this was gonna turn out, but I'm so, you know, I'll just get some mics then. I just loved it. I mean, thank you guys for hanging out with me for an hour, and I just share a little bit of my life and you know, my poetry lounge with you guys, and thank you guys for sharing, all the poets out there for sharing a little bit of your life with me. And I'll just end it on this quick last poem. It goes like this. Sometimes we say things that just aren't true, like, I can never do that, or I'd die without you. I'll never move to the valley, I can never date a black guy. If I ate sushi, I would just die. I've never even caught dead in anything but a Mercedes Benz. I can never love a girl if I hate all her friends. It's like Republicans saying all Democrats are liberal, or Democrats saying all Republicans are evil. Now that I've grown up a little bit, I can admit it's all a bunch of bullshit. See, I didn't talk to my parents for 7 years, two people who I love most in life, and nobody died. We just didn't talk. Forgot about the love, held on to a grudge, and I ain't gonna lie, there were a lot of melancholy nights, but a lot of days too, filled with laughter and smiles on faces. I'll always regard those days as the dark ages, but what I'm trying to say is the boundaries we have are the boundaries we've made, and we constantly reinforce them by the negative things that we say. For everything you say, I can give you the exact opposite example of the exact thing being true. We limit ourselves to our point of view. You argue, who cares if you're right? Does it even matter if you're living a miserable life? And this life is filled with infinite possibilities, and I'm not just up here talking down at you, waxing philosophy, because, yo, I'm probably gonna move to the valley. That could be cool, don't laugh, because you could move there too. I'm just saying, don't know so much. Leave room to be surprised. And every now and then, if you're not like, yo, I think I'm in over my head, chances are, you ain't really living life. Thank you guys.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. For more Toxic Pop, visit our website at toxicpop1.wixsite.com/toxicpop. Email us at toxicpop1@gmail.com and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/toxicpop1 and Instagram at instagram.com/wearetoxicpop. Links are in the description.